All right, good afternoon, everybody. We are on webinar number 3 this week. I think this is the most we've done in 1 week. So if you didn't catch the first two, yesterday was on the FSA numbers that came out early, kind of what we thought would happen on today's report. And then on Tuesday, we talked about some reownership strategies. So make sure to go back and watch those if you didn't catch them, as we have had to roll through things pretty quick here this week. So going through the USDA report, we had that out here this afternoon. What we really want to do is just kind of go through this quick. There were some good things or significant things in here, but I think if we go back and look at June where we started, it's going to give us an idea of what we can kind of look at or make some projections in here, give us some ideas. So, going back to June, when you look here at the corn report, okay, September, acres are up from June. The only thing that's really lagging behind right now is the yields down 3 bushels per acre. But if you go down to the bottom, you can see ending stocks are higher, world stocks are higher. So, for us, that's a little bit of cause for concern. Corn bounced here today, but overall, we would say that this report was bearish, and you have to wonder if yield continues to come up a little bit more, what that could do to this corn market. So on the left side here, you can just kind of see the main highlights. From August, we increased yield almost 2 bushels per acre. World stocks 511 million bushels higher. And what I wanted to point out was on June 10th, when that report came out, we had a close of 616. And you'll see on the next chart, we slowly faded down to 519 and a quarter into, what is the 4th of July summer rally type of scenario. So we're at a similar price here today. As I record this, we're at 517. But again, I want to point out that we have higher acres, larger ending stocks both in the U.S. and the world, and we're only lagging behind in yield by a little bit. So you kind of have to ask yourself, as you look at this chart, is corn really justified here at a 519, 517, 515 price? Or if we start to see some more yield adjustments to the higher side, are we going to have a move below $5? I guess for us right now, I would be a little cautious to get too bullish on this rally in here. And we did dip below 5 today at 497 and change as well. So just something to keep in mind. Like I said, the point of this is looking back at where we started in June. This report is certainly not bullish overall. Flipping over to the bean side, again, we're kind of going back to June to see where we started. Not a whole lot has changed. Really, it just comes down to the 30 million bushels that got added to the U.S. ending stocks. World stocks significantly higher, though, too. They're higher by 100 million bushels from August, but as you can see from June, they're up quite a bit. So, again, going back to June 10th after the report, the closing price was $14.59. As you'll see on the next chart, from there down, we traded all the way down to $12.52, a $2 loss. And now today we're sitting at about $12.90 as I record this. And you got to wonder if, maybe $12.50 to $13 is probably fair value for beans here going into fall. I wouldn't be surprised potentially to see things slip a little lower. On the one hand, we have flash sales, from China coming in pretty regularly. But on the other hand, when you take a look at world stocks, you have to wonder where the competition is going to be bidding and at what price do we need to be at to continue to get that share of the export market. And $13 might be just a little bit high in here. So again, here's the chart. You can see June 10th. After the report, we came all the way down. And now as we look again at today's numbers compared to where we started in June, not much has changed, but we do have higher stocks numbers in the U.S. and significantly higher stock numbers in the world. I should say not much has changed from the yield and acreage side of things. So again, beans, maybe you could argue there's some better support at $12.50 than say corn at 5 and as we head into harvest. But I'm a little cautious that we get a move above 13 with the numbers that we're looking at and with how high the world stocks are. Here we go over to the wheat side of things. Really nothing has changed of significance since the June report came out other than yield. That was a big mover, which of course brings your ending stocks down. But as far as acres, harvested acres and things like that go, not too much of a big change. World stocks lower. So in keeping with our theme going back to June 10th, you had Chicago wheat closing around 697 and a quarter. And the price today, I believe we were at about 683 in here for Chicago wheat. We put this on the line. And now again, you can kind of see we had perhaps an overreaction to the downside, and then we had an overreaction to the upside. And now as we head into the winter months here, we probably have some fair value of wheat, maybe around $7 support or resistance, if you will, kind of a tight range going forward. So that was the USDA report in here. Final thoughts overall, we'd have to say the report, the numbers were bearish corn and beans. So the easy answer to say is that stuff was already priced in. I think, though, if you go back to June where we started the year's numbers at, it's hard to be bullish this rally, especially on the corn side. Beans, it's going to be tough to say. I think 13 is probably a decent ceiling in here for the time being. On the wheat side, you could definitely argue that this report was bullish to neutral. We would say it's definitely more supportive of anything that we can get maybe a tighter range in here. On the winter wheats, perhaps between like 680 and 7, and then spring wheat, I know was at about 880 here now. Can we get back above 9? I don't know. That'll be the level to kind of be watched. So it is Friday today. We've got a weekend to digest. The markets will take a look. The algorithms, everybody's going to take a good look at these numbers. And we will see what happens next week. So again, if you guys find this video helpful, please hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe so you can get notified and reminded when we put new content out so you guys don't miss a webinar. And we will be back next Tuesday with another webinar. As always, feel free to email us. We'll have that down in the description below. And everybody have a nice weekend. Thank you.